Hello everybody, welcome back to Giga Chad Books. I'm your host, Giga Chad Books. Today we're talking about another book, of course. What else will we be doing? Talking about Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. Yet another Kurt Vonnegut read. Kurt Vonnegut is becoming one of my favorite authors. It's my third book that I've read from him. This is the recommendation I got when I was reading or had finished Breakfast of Champions and got it before. So I picked it up. I read it. It's great. I really love Kurt Vonnegut. Really just such a unique author. There's just nothing quite like him. It's always entertaining. It's always funny. I always just get soft little giggles to myself whenever I read a Kurt Vonnegut book. And there's a lot of honesty and, low-key a little bit of wisdom in there. And there's always just kind of touchy subjects that kind of deal with subject matter that can be hard to talk about. And it's filled with critique, but also kind of how with Breakfast of Champions is kind of representing the absurdity of humanity and how just weird we can be. But this book was super interesting. He followed the narrator of the book. His name is Jonah or John. I completely forgot that because nobody says his name. The first sentence is I'll call you John, or call me John, or call me Jonah, whatever. And the rest of the book, they don't say his name ever at all. It's kind of I don't know. It's you're not even reading about this guy. It's so weird. I feel like the main character, the narrator, is this faceless human being that you just see the world through him, and he's not really too much of a character. He's kind of the conduit for this story to unfold. But basically, the plot of the book is he's writing this book, and the book is called The Day the World Ended. And he is trying to connect with these people so that he can interview them and get information that he needs in order to write this book. And then it just takes him down this rabbit hole of just meeting new people and then creating new opportunities for himself, and then going to a whole different country. It was San Lorenzo, but it's just a wild journey what happens, and you meet a lot of interesting people. I think there's this guy, I think his name is Dr. Knowles. The most interesting guy in the book, I would say. He's not in it for very long, but he's probably my favorite. And if you read the book, you'll understand why, because he's quite the guy. But yeah, it's just another great book with another great cast of characters. This book is actually just an apocalyptic tale without you realizing it until all of a sudden it is an apocalypse and you're holy shit. So it's a very weird book, and it has a lot going on within it, I would say. It's kind of a bunch of different things. It's a big critique on religion, how humanity has basically just created religion, in order to explain the world and explain their fears and, gain some kind of control over the uncertainty that kind of revolves around us in this life that we live, because we just have so many questions that we'll never have answered. And there's actually this book kind of presents, it's obviously it's not meant to be taken seriously, but creates this whole new religion called Bacanism, I believe. Baconism, I don't know, but the main guy, the guy that wrote it or created it, his name is Bakonin. Bacanon? I don't know how you say it, but it's kind of just a religion that revolves around man, rather than thinking of there's a hierarchy, or there's this God, and then there's these other gods, and God made people, and people have to live by God's teachings or whatever and whatnot. But Bacanism is kind of more just revolving around the happenings of man and how there are just so many unexplainable things that happen, like the people that you come across and the people that somehow kind of like seep their way into your life without you really realizing it. It's just like how did things line up in this way for all of us to have an impact on one another? Um, I feel like the way that I think about it is like one time I was thinking about my friend and I was like going somewhere, and all of a sudden I was like taking a left turn at a stoplight, and I like looked over and then there was my friend that I was literally thinking about inviting, and I saw him. I was like, bro, pull up. And then he was like, bro, I'll be there. And then like we hung out, and it was like the most exceptional thing ever. And it just like blew my mind that like a moment like that could even possibly happen. Like I just thought about it. I was like, and then all of a sudden like we were just there together, and I was like, how can we even explain this? We can't explain it. There's like, it just is how life is. Like life is just so crazy in the way that it works, and the things that just we stumble upon by chance. And I feel like that's kind of just what Bacanism is a little bit about. It's, there's a lot of different ideas within this fake religion, but it's really funny and very unserious, but also like there's some real shit to take away from it for sure. In Bacanism, like the way that two people connect, like how they connect their souls and like achieve a greater understanding of one another is by sitting down and then putting their feet together, like their bare feet, just like putting their feet up and just like, just putting their feet together and just chilling, and looking each other in the eyes and just, caressing feet together. And when you really think about it, me personally, I've never done that with anybody. I actually have done it with with one person, but that is a very intimate thing. Like, if I were to take a stranger and then we had to do that, like I feel like we would definitely have some kind of bond that nobody could take away from us after we did that, because that takes a lot. It's a very uncomfortable situation that you're putting yourself into, and I don't know, it's pretty you're pretty vulnerable in that position, I guess. So I guess I get it. Honestly, I'm probably not going to do it, but I get it. And it was just a funny concept. Kurt Vonnegut might like feet, and that's all right. To each his own, man. To each his own. But I thought this was a fantastic book. I got a lot of pretty good quotables from it. I'm gonna say one. I'll leave y'all with this one quote on the subject of literature. Putrescence. Putrescence. I would have never found that out. Okay. Putrescence fuck. How does a man die when he's deprived of the consolations of literature? In one of two ways: putrescence of the heart or atrophy of the nervous system. For the love of God, keep writing. And yeah, man, that's what this channel is all about, man, is to make you go and read. And not only that, but we should strive to read more. We should strive to create more. We should strive to write more, because the world needs writers. The world needs directors. It needs artists. It needs people that can fulfill the voids within our hearts, and we may be one of those people that can do that for others. So we should all just strive to be the best that we can be. And you should go read Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. And you should go read Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. And you should read Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut. In reverse order, that's how y'all should read them, because Kurt Vonnegut is the freaking man. And I'm going to read more of him because he's so good. I love his writing style. I think you will too. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for 20 subscribers. Shout out 20 subscribers. 20 people is it's a lot of people, so I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the new milestone that we've achieved as a community, and I hope that one day we have 50 subscribers, because that would be crazy. But I appreciate y'all watching. I hope that y'all have a good day, and I'll be back. with another review very soon. Goodbye.